Get ready to embark on a literary journey like never before. Tune in to the Writer's Blog Talk Show, a book review show that airs on radio, Sunny 88.7 FM, every Saturday at 1 p.m. and on TV. Immerse yourself in a world of literature as we dissect, discuss, and delight in the latest and greatest books across genres. From gripping mysteries to heartwarming tales, we've got your reading list covered. Join us every week as we unravel the pages of captivating novels, explore the minds of brilliant authors, and share insights that will leave you craving your next literary adventure. Whether you're a seasoned bookworm or just diving into the world of stories, the Writer's Blog is the perfect companion for your reading escapades, for children and grown-ups too. Let's make reading a joy for every age. As we celebrate our 5th year this year, we promise you amazing content on radio and TV. Contact the Writer's Blog Talk Show today. 0552 535 036 0552 535 036 or email writersbloggh@gmail.com. Visit our website www.thewritersbloggh.com. On social media, Facebook, Instagram, X or YouTube, The Writer's Blog Talk Show, or at Writer's Blog GH. The Writer's Blog. Read, write, indulge your mind. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Writer's Blog Talk Show, a program that is designed to help you fall in love with books. We are also seeking to help you discover authors and the inspirations behind their works. We are promoting other stakeholders within the publishing industry as well. And so if you're into any of these, reach out to us, number on your screen, our email address as well, and of course our website. Today I'm excited. It's a 2-part series that we are doing with S. Nana Ofori. He outdoored recently 3 solid books: Godly Parenting, which is effective parenting techniques and comprehensive guidelines for raising godly children. I'm looking forward to this one. And then Essentials of Christian Living. In fact, all 3 books are part of that series. And then finally, one of my favorites as well, Worshiping God in Spirit and in Truth. It is the Christian Manifesto. When we are back, there's more. Stay with us. Attention all wordsmiths and storytellers. Are you ready to elevate your literary game? Introducing Reveal Multimedia Limited's editorial services, the one-stop destination for all your writing needs. Are you wrestling with writer's block or time constraints? Fear not. Our team of expert ghostwriters is here to breathe life into your ideas, crafting compelling stories that resonate with your audience. Editing and proofreading precision is our forte. We polish your prose until it sparkles, ensuring every word shines on the page. But that's not all. Need your spoken words captured in text? Our audio-to-text transcription services will transform your voice into written brilliance. And for those seeking a voice that stands out, explore our voice work services, jingles that linger, audiobooks that captivate, commercials that sell, and documentaries that tell tales beyond imagination. Authors, get ready for the spotlight. Our PR experts will launch your book, grant you interviews and promos on the Writer's Blog radio and TV platforms, all tailored to make your book a sensation. Contact Reveal Multimedia Limited today, 0552 535 036 or 0208 428 322. Email revealmultimediagh@gmail.com. Visit our website www.revealmultimediagh.com. Remember, every story deserves to be a masterpiece. We can make that happen. Reveal Multimedia Limited. Dreams come alive. Welcome back to the Writer's Blog Talk Show. We are powered by Reveal Multimedia and Reveal Impact Initiative and supported by Carrie's Books, Challenge Bookshop. We're coming to you from Kappa Cappuccino, one of our partners as well. And then, of course, our media partners, Sunny FM, Sunny TV, and PCG TV. Our quote for today, like I told you, we are dealing with a 3-part series today with S. Nana Ofori. And the first book we are talking about is Worshiping God in Spirit and in Truth, the Christian's Manifesto, and it is volume 1. I'm looking forward to the rest of the volumes. But the quote is,
To worship in spirit and in truth is to step beyond ritual into relationship, where God becomes the center of it all, of what we are and what we do. Let me take it one more time. It says to worship in spirit and in truth is to step beyond ritual into relationship, where God becomes the center of all we are and all we do. Let me tell you a little bit about our author for today. Nana Ofori is a spirit-filled believer in the salvation of Jesus Christ who pursues an ongoing relationship with God. He has served as an elder of the Church of Pentecost International for over 14 years and spearheaded various initiatives at the district, area, and national levels. Nana Ofori is the founder and national director of the Pinnacle Institute of Global Excellence, a youth-oriented capacity-building organization that has impacted the lives of 3,000 youth globally since 2012. He is the CEO of the Royal Family Construction Limited, who are into general construction and real estate development. Versed in campus and youth ministry, counseling, leadership, church outreach, management consultation, team building, professional development, and strategic planning, Nana Ofori has dedicated his passion and time to helping multitudes of people live godly lives while discovering and harnessing their God-given potential. He holds a master's degree in HRM from the University of Cape Coast, which is Human Resource Management, Ghana. He is currently studying law at Gimpa. He is married to Dorothy Ofori and is blessed with 2 talented sons, Nana Kofi Ofori and Ohene Yao Adum Ofori. It's good to have you, Nana, here in this.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. How have you been so far?
By God's grace.
I'm just wondering, what inspired the Essentials of Christian Living series? Why did you decide to put these 3 books together?
All right. Essentials of Christian Living came to mind when I had my devotion one day during the COVID period. And it was about Mary and Elizabeth.
Okay.
The discussion that they had and the time that Jesus was being given birth to.
Okay.
We realized that Jesus, when he was about being given birth to, had no room or a hotel space to be birthed. So that I was thinking about these things where the King of Kings was not given any room. So as I pursued reading about more, I came to realize that in the life of Jesus, he met another Mary who was a friend. And this time around, Martha, her sister, had a conversation with Jesus. And Martha was now murmuring and asking, why wouldn't Jesus allow her sister to come and cook with her so that they will prepare a meal? And Jesus gave a statement. That is what he said, that of all the things of this world, the most important thing is what your sister has taken and no one can take from her. And so that birthed Essentials of Christian Living.
Wow.
There are so many things in Christendom that we can hold to our hearts and we hold dear to them. But Jesus made a specific an emphatic statement that this one, that is the word of God. When you take the word, no one can take it away from you. And that is the most important thing. It's not about the rituals that we do in church. It's not about the customs, but about the word. So I said that then if it is the word, then there are so many things in the word that we need to do. So that becomes the essentials of Christian living. So I've decided to come out with what I consider
the essentials.
To be the essentials. And one of them is worshiping God in spirit and in truth. Godly parenting. I'm thinking about writing about salvation.
Nice.
I'm thinking about how to win soul winning.
Okay.
I'm also looking at marriage. I'm also looking at Christian education and so many other topics.
This is exciting.
Yeah.
This is really exciting. So, Nana, how long did it take you to put these three books together?
Okay, so from 2020, I launched the book in 2024 November. So I can say about 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Of consistent research,
Yeah.
interviews, and all of that.
But for worshiping God in spirit and in truth, I think since 2012 I was putting so many things together. But
okay.
I completed it around 2024.
Great. So the book we're discussing now is a 2-part, 3-part, almost like that series with S. Nana Ofori. This one is titled Worshipping God in Spirit and in Truth, the Christian Manifesto, Pragmatic Strategies for Effective Christian Worship in Our Contemporary World. And it is about it's about 16 chapters.
Yeah.
And there are about 4 parts.
Yeah, 4 parts.
Why did you decide to break it into these parts?
All right, so I decided to break it into 4 different parts because I wanted to first talk about how worship was at the beginning, and then the mosaic structure in the middle period. Then also to define what worship really means, because I see that most people don't understand. And then also to look at worship lifestyle, the lifestyle of worship, and also then bring in the worship leaders, the song ministers in the church, and to also give some advice for music ministers in the church. Hence the 4 different parts.
Wow. So the 4 different parts. Part 1 is the genesis of worship. Understanding worship as the lifestyle is part 2. Man's mandate to worship is part 3. And of course, the final part, worshiping God through music. Let's talk about then the genesis.
Okay.
How did worship come about and what is worship?
When we talk of worship, as I said earlier, so many people have different meanings. And even the word itself, it doesn't come out with the nuance that it deserves. It metamorphosed from different words until we had this. But if you really do some research, you come to realize that all that we do as Christians or as children of God should really mean worship.
Yeah.
The service we offer.
Yeah.
The adorations we give. The singing, the dancing. And even Paul, when he was trying to elaborate on worship, said that we should offer our bodies as living sacrifice. So the Christian is supposed to be a worship being. And from the beginning, as part of God's creation, he instituted worship. He created a being, an angel called Lucifer. And if you read the account of Ezekiel and Isaiah, you realize that God created this angel, his entire body was music.
Yeah.
So when Lucifer rises up, whatever, is worship to God. And if you read Isaiah chapter 6, you realize that Isaiah said, in the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord. What Isaiah saw in his dream or whatever he had was he saw the 4 living creatures and the 24 elders bowing down, rising up and saying, Hosanna. And at every moment, whatever they saw, they gave praise to God. And so God was revealing himself at every point in time. And what he turns into, they gave glory and praise to God. And so I realized that if God instituted worship right from the beginning, then worship is supposed to be part of us. But of course, the pride that entered Satan and his fall naturally also culminated in man's fall.
Yeah.
And that broke down that worship institution. And your other part also mentioned the meaning of worship. And
Yes.
can I now touch on
yes,
it?
just
So
briefly.
if you read the account of the Webster's dictionary,
Okay.
it says worship is to honor with extravagant love and extreme submission. Then also, if you look at, I just want to give two definitions.
Okay.
Yes, Clinton and Hawkins in 2011 defined worship that worship can be defined as an act of reverence.
Yeah.
Can be defined as an act of reverence. So, as I said earlier, whatever we do, the adoration, the praise, the thanksgiving, all culminate into worship. Then also there is something about worship that we sometimes forget. The service we render to God is also part of worship. So that it is not like those who only sing or open their mouth to pray, but the services we render, the sweeper in the church, the one taking care of the children in the children's ministry, every activity that we do in church, whatever we do outside as children of God, to me, must be worship.
It's amazing, isn't it? And he has brought us into the second phase, which is seeing worship truly as a lifestyle. When we are back from this break, we'll go straight into that. This is the Writer's Block Talk Show.
Congratulations to Vicky. She's been so amazing. She's been able to find a niche for us Christian parents who are just looking for ways to empower and encourage our children.
Seeing kids, parents, teachers coming together to talk about books, to talk about reading. I believe that the little ones who came around today have learnt a lot.
It was amazing, and I loved the part of the kids where you could color, you could build houses out of blocks, make whatever you want.
It's a kind of a marketplace where we brought together both writers to think through and relate to the value of reading.
Today has been awesome. We've been able to introduce more people to the awesome work that Janelle has done. The two books were nicely patronized, and we thank you.
Coming face to face and joining many authors who have written amazing inspirational books was an exciting one for me. Also, the active involvement of children, especially at a young age, is a good turning point, especially for this particular program.
With God's help, it's going to get better and bigger. Great job, Writer's Blog, and we wish you all the best.
Welcome back to the Writer's Blog Talk Show. We are here with Nana Ofori, and we're discussing from his first book, which is like a 3-part series. This one is titled Worshipping God in Spirit and in Truth, the Christian Manifesto. He has explained what worship truly is and how every part of our lives must speak to that. It brings us to part 2. Remember, we shared that as a 4-part series in this book, Understanding Worship as a lifestyle? Help us to understand this, man of God.
All right. So when we say worship must be a lifestyle, Paul said that whatever we do, we must glorify God in our
In
acts.
it, yeah.
Whether we eat, whether we sleep, whatever we do, we must glorify God. So as children of God, as Christians, and when Jesus met the Samaritan woman, he told her that a time is coming, and even it is now, that those that worship God must worship Him in spirit and in truth. So it is not about where you go to worship God, to offer worship, or the person you meet to worship, to offer worship to, i.e. the priest, and where you go to the temple. But wherever you find yourself as a child of God, you must live your life as a vessel that glorifies God. So the glorification that emanates from your actions is the worship we are talking about.
So you talked about acceptable worship, because you're talking about worship that glorifies God.
Yeah.
What is acceptable worship? How do I know that whatever service I'm rendering now to the Lord in the house of God, or even as a song minister, is acceptable to God?
So I gave a scenario about Abel and Cain, and the sacrifice they gave. We all know that Abel's own was accepted. Cain's own was rejected. God was telling us something. It wasn't just about the substance. We in Sunday school, we said, the teachers used to tell us that Abel, he managed to get the most nicest of
the vegetables
and fruit in the farm. But Cain brought things that were rotten. But God was trying to let us know that worship must follow His pattern. It must follow His rules. God was looking for, He being a hunter, to offer blood as a sacrifice unto Him. And but he couldn't. And so when we talk of acceptable worship, it is worship that meets the standard of God. Worship that meets what God wants. It shouldn't be about what you can do or what you feel like doing. So that if you are a child of God, you just do whatever you want in the house of God and think that
it's acceptable.
Men will praise you, and your pastor will pat you at the back and say, "Oh, you've done well." No. Was God pleased with what you did? So it also brings to mind, whatever you are doing, God is looking at the heart. It is the heart,
the motive.
The motive behind your actions. So that if your thinking is that I'm going to do this so that people will applaud me in church, according to Jesus, you've already earned your reward.
But Elder, most of us now in church, we have our focus for that. Is pastor seeing what I'm doing? Are the church elders noticing my acts? And so they will sacrifice all the way through. But it's not unto God, but it is unto man.
That is hypocrisy. We want to please those that we serve, but not the one who created us. And in my book, I talked about idol worship. A lot of people have made pastors idols. They are worshiping pastors. And they are men pleasers because of the immediate gratification, the rewards they will give to them, perhaps a position in church. They will give them a title. And when you have a title in church, you are given a seat. And you have a seat, when people see you, Ogboro, Oga, they are following after the titles, and these things will earn you nowhere. So we must, if we claim to be children of God, we must follow God by his terms, not by our own desires, selfish desires.
Yeah. Or even the standards of this world. In fact, I watched a certain clip, it was just yesterday, about a very God-fearing woman who was so loyal to her Mama G.
Okay.
As it were, it's a woman who's heading the church, and she has served in the church since she was very small. Now, every single word this Mama G says is final for her. And then she meets this guy who is battered, broken, also from church, but has now broken loose and is in the world, drinking, smoking, even though the roots are there, the foundation, and likes him. But somehow this Mama G has another pastor friend, lady friend, who has a son who is ready to, give him out to her, as in, marriage, because she was old enough to marry. She knew what she felt about this guy. She was praying to God to help this guy change. But this other guy is really Mama G's recommendation. It didn't end well. And I want us to wrap up with that for this session. How do we, as followers, decipher between this other ordinary person who, of course, has the anointing of God upon their lives, voice, and the voice of God?
So we must be filled with the Spirit of God. I always say that Christians must know God for themselves first. Most people are depending on the knowledge of God of their pastors or their church leaders. So it is whatever the church leader says that they hold dear to. You must study, as Paul told Timothy, that you must study the word and know God for yourself.
That's right.
You must have sensitivity to the Holy Spirit. You should be sensitive. You should be able to hear the voice of God speaking to you and directing you. God ordains the steps of the godly or the righteous. So if you claim to be a child of God, fine, God can speak through people. But when God speaks through people, you must get a confirmation from God.
Yeah.
It is not everything that a man of God will tell you that is from God. We have an example in 2 Samuel, or is it Judges, when a prophet was sent and God gave him a specific word that don't eat where you are going. He went and an old prophet told him to eat because God had just spoken to him. And that is the very dilemma of many young people. Because of what a prophet is saying in his church, he is giving prophecies and all that, and people are following all over. Did you hear from God yourself? If you don't hear from God, you can't be deceived. And most men of God have deceived a lot of people into, as you were giving the scenario, into marrying people they were not supposed to marry. So I always have this divine direction that whatever you do without faith is a sin. If anybody tells you to do a specific thing in the house of God and God has not ordained it, you do it and you would face the consequences.
May the Lord help us. Let me read the conclusion for this one. It says, we may not have a perfect life now, but God expects us to mature into perfection as we walk with Him on a daily basis. He told Abraham, walk before me and be perfect. David did not have a sinless life at first, yet overall, he pleased God. God even used David in two major developments in Israelites' worship, which we shall look at later on. And this is from the author himself. He says, our acceptable worship would brand us as God's people, for His Spirit is in us. And He says so. If we are full of God's Spirit, then let us worship Him as He pleases, in spirit and in truth. We are here with Ofori discussing from his book, Worshipping God in Spirit and in Truth. In chapter 7, you talked about worship crisis. What is that?
It's very interesting. You remember the time that the Israelites lost the Ark of the Covenant and 3 individuals died. Eli and his 2 sons, Hophni and Phinehas, died. And one of them had a son that was almost about being given birth to, but the wife delivered, and before she died, she named the son Ichabod, meaning the glory has departed. I think the crisis we have in worship currently is the hypocrisy of most people in Christendom who claim to be worshippers but are not. Then we also have the lowered standard of worship, the standard that we've lowered worship to so low that even if you go to certain places, you go to certain churches, people are gifted to lead worship are not given the opportunity to lead because most pastors don't even care about worship. All the church members are looking for is prophecy. They are looking for the word, motivational messages from the pulpit. But even the time we allot to the event or the act in our worship, in our service segment, we describe as praise and worship. Sometimes you go to places and it is non-existing. But at least members are supposed to worship God in church. Members are supposed to offer praises and adoration to God whenever we meet in our gatherings. In these days, most places, worship is not giving that type of reverence that is supposed to be, and all these culminate into worship. Then also, let me also mention the falsehood that is emanating from most pulpits that are supposed to be places of worship for God. The kind of quack pastors all over, fake prophecies. All these are crises so far as worship is concerned.
Sometime last week, somebody sent a message to me. It was on email. It says, you are a worship leader and you do workshops for singers and all. What is this craze about worshippers singing and people throwing money, and they actually create the space for that to happen? And I hadn't noticed that. I mean, I've seen a few people, climb up the stage to do stuff for people, but after studying the trend, I see that it's something that's actually catching up. And the person wanted to know, is the presence of God there whilst people are doing this? Is this something we must do? Because she has an upcoming program and people are saying they want her to know that at a particular time, they are going to walk up to her and spray money on it. What's your take on this one?
We want to live by the standard of the world, because this idea of throwing money, you see in funerals, you go, especially in Nigerian movies, and when they are doing birthday celebrations and all that, people will just be spraying money. So I say to myself, if you brought 1 million for the person, can't you just deposit the money somewhere for the person to take? We always want to show off. People want to see it becomes something like a competition. I threw more. The notes, the denominations were higher when they were in foreign currency.
Whether it is fresh or not.
That is it. And so in church, everything must be done orderly. When we lose sight of this, God will not accept the worship. So if it is an event for God, if it's a worship ministration, you can set the parameters and tell people that for this occasion, if you brought anything to offer, there is a bowl you can put in, because this place is a place where we are here to worship God. When you give that, and people wouldn't give the money and they would take it away, let them take. If God wants to bless you, He will bless you anyway. So if we don't set standard, people would push the world standard on us, and by so doing, the crisis in worship will deepen.
It is a great responsibility for every single person, not just worship leaders. At least Ofori has made us understand that this ought to be a lifestyle. And so you don't have to have the finest of voices to be a true worshiper, to worship God in spirit and truth. But whatever it is you're doing with your life has to be acceptable and pleasing to the Lord. We're going for TWB nuggets and book bars. When we are back, there's more. Stay with us.
Hello and welcome to TWB Nugget. We have been talking about how to improve your child's reading and writing skills. We shared about 1. Personalizing story time for your children, and 2. Putting on a reading theater for the home. Our tip for today is decode mystery words. This is where you read part of a book out loud to your child, omitting one mystery word that is frequently used, like because or always. Introduce clues about that mystery word in the text, including the number of letters it has, a letter the mystery word contains, or even a specific sound in the word. Ask your child to guess what that word is. Celebrate solving the mystery word in a final reading, asking your child to clap every time the word is read. That is a fun way to introduce new high-frequency words to your child. That being said, I want to encourage you to enroll your children in our Nyan Support Club, a 3-month mentorship training program for young writers, readers, and artists between the ages 8 to 15 years. Call or WhatsApp 0552 535 036 0552 535 036 for more details. And that is our tip for today. Tune in next week for another key tip on how to improve your child's reading and writing skills.
My question is, what is purpose? How did you discover yours?
Purpose is what you have set out to do, what you are, God created you basically on earth to come and do. So if you were created to be a teacher, to impact life in different ways, and you decide to be a doctor, you will still achieve the purpose. But is that your purpose?
When I was a child, I knew very seriously that my purpose was to be a fairy. Good. At least it wasn't too loud. Thank you. You too, you did well. He was like, And I'm serious. And I am constantly, every day, striving to be a fairy. But you know, of course, whenever people would ask me, what do you want to be? It's kind of like our little lady that said she wanted to be a princess. And I think that for me, and I think for many people, what our purpose is or what we want to be can be quite abstract in what our understanding is of it, right? But actually, even the most abstract purpose can be quite specific.
Being an artist, my love was in graphic designing, and from graphic designing I realized that my purpose was to communicate information with illustration and images, basically. And so as it kept changing, go here, go there, come there, I never thought I'll be a lawyer. It never crossed my mind. Being a doctor or anything never crossed my mind. But anytime I wanted to talk to people or communicate to people about something, and that is how I think God helped me to find my purpose.
Yes, it says purpose is the reason for which something exists and the aims or goal for that thing. As a child, Bible says that children are a gift from God. as parents here, the children that we have, God has given them to us as a gift. And every gift that is given to you, you must know that that gift is so precious and it comes with value. And so the little boy we saw in the video, we saw that he had written something down. He was trying to identify a purpose, a goal, a vision. And he was able to look at how he was swinging around. Okay, so as a child, one thing we need to do or get to know is that God has given each and every one of us a talent, which is within our purpose. If you are able to identify this talent, Bible says that your talent will bring you before kings and queens. So, first of all, what is your talent? Your talent is something you find it easy to do. So, for instance, if you can sing, know that is your talent. You have to nurture it, grow it. Talk to your parents about it. Let them find a coach to help you. And gradually you see that you become very perfect in that.
Hello everybody, my name is Reverend Pauline. I am the lead pastor for Your Kingdom Word Publications. And this is my first time at the Boys, Girls and Parents Symposium, which is organized this year at the La Palm Beach Hotel. And I must say, it's been extremely amazing. Our facilitators were top-notch. The organization was superb. I am a child coach, a youth advocate, and a child development person. But what I have come to learn here is enormous. I want to recommend this particular event for you. Anytime you hear it being announced, please gather your children and bring them on board. They are going to learn so much. I believe their lives would never be the same. God bless Vicky and the team.
My name is Richard Jeremy Sego. I attend Outside Academy in Jorolu. Today I made a lot of friends and I did a lot of activities like painting, drawing, and crafting.
Thank you for staying with us here on the Writer's Blog Talk Show. We're coming to you live from Kappa Cappuccino around Airport Residential Area. They have great wachi with Gary Photo. They have the best sandwiches inside Accra, great drinks. There's so much you can have here. And of course, connect with friends and family. Details on your screen. Make sure you're passing by every now and then throughout the week. We are brought to you by Reveal Impact Initiative and Reveal Multimedia. If you're a pastor, you've written, you have probably preached a number of sermons, as in a sermon series. You're looking at how to translate that into books. Reach out to Reveal Multimedia Limited. If you are an author, you are done with your book, you're not sure what to do with it. We have PR services that will help promote your work. Reach out to us, number on your screen. Let's help you with that, amidst, of course, editing, proofreading, and all of that. We are here with Ofori discussing from his book, Worshipping God in Spirit and in Truth, the Christian Manifesto. And this is really something you ought to have. How much is this going for?
150.
150, but the set?
The other is at 100.
So this is 150 Ghana cedis. And where can we get copies? Of course, with Reveal. Yes, with Reveal. So your number on your screen, +233 552 535 036. 150 Ghana cedis. It's a solid book. But we're wrapping up in just a bit. Worshipping His Majesty. And this is chapter 9. Yeah. What do we mean by that?
Thank you very much. It means we must direct all our worship to God. We must revere Him. We must honor Him. We must live for Him. We must do whatever He pleases. Whatever we call worship must be directed to God. There is too much entertainment in church. People want to enjoy themselves without giving God the honor He is due. When you go to a king's palace, and in Ghana here, let me mention Otumfuo 82.
Okay.
look at the way people
honor him,
respect, adore. When people speak ill of him, you go to social media, all his followers, all those that come from his kingdom, will come and throw words at whoever do so. But do we have children of God standing in for God, doing what God wants to be done? Even the Great Commission he has assigned us to, are we fulfilling? The kinds of things God wants us to do, are we doing? And so if we really want to understand worship as God wants it to be, then we must worship His Majesty. I read a book by A.W. Pink, and all that the author wanted to drum home, the sovereignty of God, is that man must understand who God is. Know that God is sovereign over everything, over all humanity, and whatever man does must be to the praise of God. Indeed, the end of every man is to worship God. And when we get this into our heart and try to practice, even the things on the surface of this earth, the governance structure, the way we offer respect to our bosses at home, at the workplace, and the way we want to glorify or magnify our chiefs and all that, we must do 100% for God before we think of humanity. So if man can worship man, man can worship idols, God deserves better. Maybe perhaps because of the kind of teachings and the training we have in church, the focus then must be from leadership of the church. If leaders understand worship, we mentioned David. I made mention of the fact that David instituted worship. And in Israel, he sought to ensure that the people of Israel will worship God, but not the gods, not idols. And so if we want to live our lives as children of God, let us redirect our focus on God and do away with the entertainment. Sometimes you go to church and some things are going on. You know that this one is not worship. It's not acceptable worship. It's not of God. We don't need to do, but we do them anyway because the people will be happy with it. And it will be like Saul, who brought the booty of the war to the house of God. And Samuel said, it is better to obey God than to disobey. And he likened disobedience to witchcraft. So there are certain things we do in church that is likened to witchcraft because it is an act of disobedience. We must take God serious. God must be worshipped with all the seriousness He deserves. When you go to Buckingham Palace, the orderliness, you will love it. We've been able to establish these institutions well, but when it comes to church, what do we see? We need to become serious for God to know that indeed we are worshiping Him.
It's awesome. It's really, truly awesome. And somebody was saying how now it has become a great competition among churches. You have to have an air-conditioned auditorium. There has to be some lights, even some smoke. Otherwise, the worship is not complete. There has to be some wild, screen with some amazing colored lights just to entice people. But you're saying that though it's essential, that is not the main thing.
Actually, those things are not bad in themselves. But the attitude that we bring to church, to our worship meetings. During your program, Tronos, last year, I told you that when the guest
Apostle Abraham Lamte.
Yeah, when he was ministering and he called you to come, you sat with him. That was when it dawned on me to launch my books.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because the books had been there, I finished writing. But so in worship, God speaks to us. In worship, God reveals himself to us. There are sometimes people have led worship in church, and after service, I will walk to them and congratulate them that you have really led us to worship.
That's wrong.
But on so many occasions, you realize that we are just here. We didn't go anywhere.
We didn't climb.
No.
We're still here on it. In fact, recently somebody shared a video that I saw about his visit to heaven. I think that God just whisked him out and gave him a list of worship tracks that are not of him. And I was very confused because most of them I knew, and some of them I've used before.
Yes, sir.
But I realized that as he kept on explaining, he says that God is seen as misinterpreting those songs. And so, of course, some of the lyrics were not of him, but others that we sang out of a place of either need or want, and so it was not pleasing unto him. So worshiping God in his majesty is something we cannot miss, and this book is truly awesome. Before we wrap up, you have to give us your contact line, for instance. How do people connect with you? Because I know you speak, you do have speaking engagements and all of that. You do training for young people and all of that. So please share your contact and any other detail.
0244 725 177. 0244 725 177. Then 04163 8344. 04163 8344. Any of these numbers,
they can reach out to you on it. So number on your screen now, you can reach out to Ofori, connect with him. He's a very spiritual person. You see him as such, and the Lord is using him mightily, and we love him. In fact, the team at Writer's Blog, we had him for our parenting session the last time. It was magical. Let me use that word just for now. People kept talking about, his book, which is going to be the second part. Godly parenting, effective parenting techniques and comprehensive guidelines for raising godly children. We are wrapping up now. This is part 1. We are coming back with part 2, and we'll dive into his second book. But let me just run by you a few of the chapters as we wrap up now. Remember, it's the Writer's Blog Talk Show here. Part 1 is the genesis of worship. It's all began with worship, the structure and form of worship in the very beginning, from slavery to worship. Part 2, understanding worship as a lifestyle. Meaning of worship, the acceptable worship, unacceptable worship, the worship crisis, worship and the sovereignty of God. Part 3, man's mandate to worship his majesty. Worship his majesty, sacrifice, a key element of worship, and that part is something else. You should grab the book. The worship revolution begins now. Worshiping God in spirit and in truth, know God and worship him. And then finally, part 4, worshiping God through music. Praise and worship reloaded, a guide to music ministers, the benefits of true worship. I wanted to share a little bit about the guide to music ministers, but I want you to grab a copy of this book. 150 Ghana cedis, number on your screen, 0552 535 036. Nana, anything you want to say about this book finally as we wrap up?
So I'll recommend that people grab copies of this book. If you are a church leader, if you're a music minister, if you're a Christian, child of God, you read to understand what worship is so that you can live your life as a worshiper. Just as Jesus told the lady that a time is coming that we will not be pointed to a place or specific individuals. But those that worship God must worship him in spirit and in truth. If we really want to worship God in spirit and in truth, then we must understand what worship is so that we will not deviate from worship.
Practical wisdom right there, of course, theological, aspect as well. Thank you so much, Nana, for this one. Like I told you, it's going to be a 2-part series. And so next week, we are bringing you the next episode, which is going to be talking about godly parenting. Some of my favorite, inspirations have come from this book, and how you and I as parents can raise up the children God has put in our hands. The Writer's Blog. Read, write, indulge your mind.
Thank you for listening to and watching the Writer's Blog talk show on this channel. The book review show is designed with you and your child in mind. For enquiries about how you can sponsor, partner, advertise, or have your book reviewed on the show, call or send an SMS, Telegram, or WhatsApp message to +233 552 535 036 or +233 208 428 322, or send an email to writersbloggh@gmail.com. Follow us on social media: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, podcast at Writers Blog GH or The Writers Blog Talk Show. Visit our website www.thewritersbloggh.com. Join us next time for another exciting edition. The Writers Blog. Read, write, indulge your mind.